first of the movement to oust the Gaddafi regime.
I think everybody, they lead the revolution. There is no particular people. The whole Libyan people, they lead this revolution, especially young people.
But obviously some people are more important than others. For example, generals who might have changed sides. Are you trying to contact the powerful people?
What I try to do now to stop the massacre, I try to put pressure and call the international community to stop this killing. Gaddafi, he must leave. And that's what I try to do every day.
So what should the international community do, and what can the international community do?
The international community, they know the way to stop the massacre.
But are you in favour of military intervention from the international community?
I think anything stop killing, I will support it.
Are you planning to return to Libya? Are you thinking of going home now?
It's not the issue now going home. Of course my heart is with my people there, but the main issue now is the massacre. This is the main issue.
This is an anti-Gaddafi revolution, if you like. It's not a pro-monarchy, not a pro-restoration of the monarchy movement, is it?
Of course, yeah. People came in the street, by themselves after 40 years, and they asked for freedom. They asked to live as a human. That's what they ask.
Do you think the restoration of the monarchy in Libya would be a good idea?
This is up to Libyan people, but again, there is a human disaster and people dying, and this is what make me move now and use all my contact to stop this blood.
Sir, thank you very much for talking to Al Jazeera English.
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you.
Well, I'm joined once again on our set here in Doha by Tarek Youssef, Dean of the Dubai School of Government and a Senior Research Fellow, and a Libyan from Benghazi. Thank you once again for being with us. Just on this issue of the monarchy there, any chance of a return to a monarchy? Any support for the Crown Prince?
I doubt it. I think people respect the contribution of the monarchy when Libya was created in 1951. And incidentally, Libya was created with a decision or by the Security Council in 1949, and the monarchy of Libya, or the Kingdom of Libya, was born in 1951. It was a constitutional monarchy. It was a progressive monarchy by the standards of the time in the Arab world. But I don't think people are longing for that system.
What then could replace a Gaddafi regime? Are there leaders within Libya or without Libya waiting and able to pick up the reins?
I think there are a lot of civil servants who served the country early on in the 70s who are fully capable of putting together a republic with a strong constitution, whether presidential or parliamentary, with separation of powers. Many of the senior civil servants from the 60s and 70s are still around. Their memory is still fresh. They're probably longing to go back and remake history or try to reverse what has happened.
First, of course, we'll have to see the removal of Gaddafi himself.
Absolutely.
And we're in a position here where he obviously is showing no signs of leaving. And around him there appear to be enough supporters to cause a degree of trouble. What's the next step?
The next step would be a clear signal coupled with steps taken by the international community, led by the United States, to pull what remains of the external legitimacy of this regime and to further delegitimize this regime internally. The facts have already moved in that direction, but I think some decisive steps, some unequivocal statements by the US, threats of retribution, sanctions, personal indictments on account of the allegations of crimes against humanity, war crimes of all sorts. All of these will deal a devastating psychological blow and would force what remains of the loyalists around him to rethink of their position.
But given the reticence we have seen from the United States, from the Western leaders, to do anything other than provide fairly boilerplate condemnation of what's going on, there would still appear to be a window within which Gaddafi, if he chooses to, can try to retake this situation by force. And from what we've heard on both his addresses, what we've heard from his son, he may well be willing and able to do that.
He will cause more bloodshed. No doubt in my mind that he's capable of doing this and that he will try and attempt to do this. I don't think he will succeed, just on account of geography and the balance of forces between him and the areas that surround him. But I don't think we need to think only in terms of that scenario. A no-fly zone over Libya, a number of frigates or warships stationed outside of the Gulf of Sirte could very well help tip the balance in favor of him or the loyalists around him, essentially disbanding and moving on. I think we all have a collective interest in avoiding Libya becoming a failed state a la Somalia or a la Iraq when Saddam collapsed.
All right, we'll leave it there. Tariq Youssef, thank you for being with us. Now, thousands of foreign workers have been fleeing Libya in the wake of all this unrest. James Bays has been on a flight passing through Tripoli, and he's managed to speak to some of the people who are trying to leave, and he's been hearing their accounts of events in the capital.
The approach to Tripoli airport. From the sky, the area around the city looks deceptively calm, but witnesses tell us there are checkpoints on the road and panic and fear among the population. Tripoli remains off limits to international media, with foreign journalists denied visas. We touched down in Libya, arriving in transit, spending over 17 hours at the airport. It's a place of chaos. Some passengers have now spent more than 3 days here, hoping to flee the violence and turmoil. Around the airport, television screens have the state TV blaring. A constant stream of Gaddafi propaganda, with pictures of demonstrations in support of the Libyan leader. For now, it's clear this airport and the capital city are pretty firmly under his control. One oil worker who didn't want to have his face filmed until he got on his flight, but who's worked in Libya for 18 years, says the last few days have been most unnerving.
We're trying to get in the terminal building, and maybe 5,000 people out there, and we had a very difficult time pushing and shoving. We're just about at the doors, and we got beaten back. I don't know, military people with batons.
We're now on board an evacuation flight arranged by the British government. When we were on the ground in Tripoli, it was only possible to film using a high-quality mobile phone. It wasn't possible to get the camera out because there were too many security personnel around and people were reluctant to talk to us. Now they're on board this flight, they are at last able to tell us what they saw.
The police officers ran down the Mezran Street and they opened fire on the boys who had no weapons at all. We were on the roof, my colleagues and myself. They saw us on the roof and they opened fire on us as well, and then they threw gas canisters onto the roof, so we got gassed as well.
I heard so many gunfire. The people are on the road, we are scared, we are not to go to outside, we cannot leave the camp. If I go outside, something will be happen. When we were coming from our house to the airport, there are so many people are there, they said, no plane, go, 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 go.
Many of these people have cut short their jobs, abandoned their homes and left behind loved ones. They don't know when they'll see Libya again. James Bays, Al Jazeera, on board the flight from Tripoli to London.